Fuck happiness. Stay angry. So, I don't know what it is with motherfuckers thinking that you should be happy. Whoever said that you should be fucking happy?
Yeah, who said you're supposed to be happy?
I'm not.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I've also had better days.
Jesus. Leo, how are you doing?
Nah,
Well, all right then.
I'm just in the middle.
Are you
Life
happy that
sucks. You gotta deal with it.
are you happy that the National Guard's coming to Chicago?
Yes. Actually, they need to send like thousands.
I think they're only sending like 400 people or something.
Yeah, some shit like that. That's why they need to send thousands.
When I was in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration in 2020, there were 20,000 troops in Washington, D.C. Do you know how many troops we had in Afghanistan? It was like 6,000 or something.
What was that?
Like at any given time. You know, I mean, I think during the surge or whatever there was more, but like on average, or I don't know what the stat is. I remember hearing that. Anyway, friends, Romans, and Patriots, blah, blah, blah. How's it going? We are doing a show tonight, and I don't have a ton of subjects, but I did want to start off by talking about what is going on in the media and in social media from the Democrats and on the left. And I'm not talking about their rhetoric, because we've already talked about that to death, right? But specifically, the subjects that they're covering in the news these days is all about the ICE deportations and the the sentiment of the American people being against part of what's going on. And I think that, I mean, I talked about this before anything even started, right? Which was, if Trump and the Trump administration goes too hard on deporting illegal aliens, there will be optics necessarily that will look bad, rounding people up, putting them on trains, putting them on buses, putting them on airplanes or whatever, forcibly taking them away from their families and stuff, always looks bad and is always going to look bad. And it's going to look bad if the guy was a fucking construction worker and the only thing he did wrong was come over the border, or if he was a fucking child rapist murderer, because on camera, they don't care. The camera doesn't care. It just sees the child crying and the dad being carried away, and you know, it's bad optics. And those bad optics are at a bad time because it's right before, well, not right before, but the midterm election is coming up, right? And while we did vote for this, and I do approve of them getting rid of illegal aliens as much as possible, the optics of it are going to shoot ourselves in the foot when we need to win the most. Because if we lose this, you know, and the royal we, I don't really consider myself a Republican, but right now I'm certainly anti-Democrat. So if the Democrats gain ground in the midterms, then it's over. Then Trump's second half of his term is fucked. And all of the things that he would like to get done will not happen, and he will be brought up on impeachment or whatever it is that they can do again and again and again. So I think, and this is my argument, that it's probably important for us, for the sake of optics, to chill the fuck out a little bit for right now. I think with the rhetoric and everything going on, we're already the targets. It's going to continue, obviously. And the next time that someone gets targeted and killed, it's just going to be a repeat of Charlie Kirk. Maybe not. I mean, I feel like that was goddamn near archetypal because of Charlie Kirk being such an exemplary example of someone who's on our side who wants to sit down and have a conversation with the other side and you know, in good faith and all that. Like the next guy might not be that, might be more of like a, not quite George Floyd, but like any martyr that's been on the left has been anything but a fucking saint. So, but be that as it may, we are still the target, and they have managed to change the conversation from we shot Charlie Kirk in the neck and watched him bleed to death and then celebrated it in front of all of you people, right? And made you upset. Oh, we've moved on from that now because you're abducting illegal people from their families and putting them back in the countries that they came from. So I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that and say what's up and see where we go from there.
I say, fuck that shit. We need to go all the way. I don't give a fuck about optics and none of that shit. Like, if you're that fucking gullible to vote for the Democrats because of what you see in the news, then we deserve whatever we get from that. If you're that fucking stupid. But matter of fact, we need to make it just go full force. Because Democrats are going full force. We need to do the same. So I don't give a fuck about the optics whatsoever. This is what I voted for.
I'm in 100% agreement with that. And I'm to the point right now where there should be a lot of Democrats already arrested for treason at this point. And the fact that they're allowed to still sit in office and maintain this bullshit shutdown is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Chuck Schumer is prime example number one of voter fraud at this point. And if Trump was a real president, he would be enacting martial law right now, suspending elections and doing election audits on every fucking race that's happened for the past 7 fucking years right now. And proving voter fraud once and for all has happened with Democrat Party.
Well, they're screaming at the top of their lungs that this is the end of democracy and Trump is actually hit. Like, before we were just saying it hyperbolically, but now he's proving our point that Trump is in fact Hitler. Look at the things that he's been doing in the cities around the country, Martha. Like, these are the conversations they're having in front of people, and people are watching these conversations and believing it because they're doing the thing that hypnotizes people. They're saying the thing and repeating 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 from every fucking corner of the goddamn internet, from every news source, from every talking head, from every person that's paid. Which, by the way, there are talking like shows like this. If I was a leftist, if I was a Democrat leaning individual and I had a show this size even, I would be being offered money by the DNC because they've been paying people who agree with them. They've been paying people who were smaller channels who were coming up to like tout the message and be part of the program. So there's that. But man, like we are headed for things that are bad if we don't get this figured out. And you're right. They're not letting up. But I still fear that if we don't strategically access our power and use it wisely, that we are not going to be able to carry through the next 2 years with Trump's agenda. Well, I mean, we'll have the next year, right? But like once the midterms happen, they're going to gain control of the House. They're going to they're never going to pass a bill again because the House won't let them, right? They're going to bring Trump up on impeachment again and again and again for whatever they can make up or think up or whatever. And you know how it's going to go. So if we do things, and it's again the royal we, that allow the Democrats to gain ground before the midterm elections and actually maybe win the House, then yeah, all is fucked. All is fucked if that happens. So I don't know.
No, and that's what I say when people say people should stop showing the Charlie Kirk video. I was like, no, let them see it. And like let people see and let people keep recording videos of them celebrating that. See, that's our optics that we need to carry into the midterms.
Daniel says, look at the polls. Dems have 16 approval overall, which is true, and they do. But the election's not right now, and Trump's approval isn't doing that great right now either because of all the optics. And you could easily see how with some clever planning and some manipulation of the facts and got some media on your side and a little bit of money to rile everything up, by midterms, they could turn what's going on with deporting people into a giant fucking, it'll be like Black Lives Matter 2.0. You'll turn on your internet and that's all you're going to see is, oh, look at this person getting ripped away from their family. Look at that person getting deported and fucking crying about it. Blah, blah, like story after story after story. And some of us obviously aren't going to care. But there's a lot of people out there who are going to see that and be upset about it. Right. And I mean, to some extent, I don't think we should be hunting people down who haven't broken the law. I think we need to do two things. We need to go after specific people who we know have done bad things while they're here or before they came here, right? Like terrorist watch list type stuff, or you came here and you broke the law, right? Get rid of every single one of those people that we can. At the same time, we make it very cost negative for apartment complexes to rent an apartment to an illegal alien, for businesses to hire an illegal alien to do a job, right? For a truck company to hire an illegal alien to be a trucker, even though it's an independent contractor or whatever. There needs to be major penalties for these things by the government on businesses so that the businesses can't employ these people anymore. So the businesses can't rent an apartment or a house or sell a house or whatever it is to people who are not here legally anymore. And then they will deport themselves if you do that, for the most part. Because, I mean, some of them will find a way, I'm sure, but if you can't find a job, you can't work legally, right? And you can't rent an apartment and you can't have a driver's license, man, like Mexico's easier than that. Like I could do all of those things there. I might as well just go back, right? And then you give them a couple of $1,000 to go. You give them a fucking a Greyhound bus ticket or whatever. And now we don't have the optics of ripping families apart and children being zip tied and handcuffed and stuff. And then the leftists don't have any ammunition to fire against us. And we win.
Kids being zip tied and handcuffed.
So unperson them.
There was a picture of it. I'm not sure why. It looked like a 15-year-old boy being zip tie handcuffed.
Yeah, it was like an 18 or 19-year-old kid that they claim was underage.
Maybe he was.
Maybe you were talking about that
towards...
one that I saw yesterday. That was looked like maybe a 8-month or 18-month-old, if that. It was like a little baby that was being handcuffed back up.
See, like stuff like that. We don't need the optics of that.
But see, that right there has been blown out of the portion by the left because that was a harmless, cute, innocent video because it was a dad who was a cop here in Texas who was playing cops and robbers with his child, and people are now using it, saying, oh, now the ICE is arresting babies, little black babies.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen
but
that.
it was just a dad trying to play cops and robbers.
I will say this, dude, like, I know, everyone knows that the left is hyperbolic. They exaggerate, they lie, they gaslight, they don't have arguments. They just have like shades of the truth mixed with like a snarky fucking thing that pisses you off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing that they do is true. Nothing that they do is honest, not all the way through. And people are seeing that. But like when even the optics, like think about that thing with the kid with that Indian guy who got in his face and he was drumming in his face.
Yeah,
they took a picture of that and they froze it. And this is Saul Alinsky tactic. They took the picture of that and froze it and then polarized it to the point where everyone fucking hated that kid without knowing the context, without knowing anything. Another example of that is when Border Patrol was going after the illegal immigrant or whatever, and he had the reins in his hand, and he was, and then they took the picture, and
oh my God, he's looking illegal.
It kind of looked like the reins were a lasso, and so they froze that, and they polarized it, and they advertised it and spread the message that, oh, they're lassoing people at the border. Look at them, they're lassoing them like animals.
Or they're whipping them with like a whip.
Do that. Of course they're gonna do it now. They're gonna do it later. They've done it before. They're gonna do it again. So the less that you can give them ammunition for that gun that you know that they're gonna pick up and use, the better.
They always gonna have ammunition for something.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
they'll
So I
find
give
something out of
zero
nothing.
fucks about zero fucks. That's why I say I give zero fucks about whatever they put out. Because if you fall for that shit, I think they was gonna fall for it anyway.
Bro, the house
There's
isn't
too many
passing
people
shit anyway
around
right
me.
now. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Now go ahead. I'm just
I was reading super chat.
ramble off shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, Nick Sandman. That was the kid in Kentucky with the Indian.
Right. I actually cut off actual friends and neighbors over this shit. Trump
So
is
do I.
a racist and fucking out off. Fuck you. God damn it. I'm tired of fucking Chicago and all this shit. People here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people who have outed themselves as patriots in a lot of these gun groups too in the last couple of weeks, specifically blowing Islam. I got into it with a kid yesterday for about 4 hours because he was basically trying to be like, oh, Islam should have free speech in this country. And I'm like, they want to take over our country and make it into Sharia law, dude. You can go fuck yourself.
Are you sure you argue with a real person?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm enjoying the videos, actually. It's the best optics I've ever seen. I love it.
There's a lot of people who are fighting against the cops. And then here's what happens, though, right? The cops are there, or ICE, or whoever it is. The federal agents are there at the facility, and they're arresting a person or whatever it is, right? And then the people come up, and they, like, push and punch and yell and scream and do stuff. And then when the ICE officer or the cop or the whoever finally responds, that's the clip you see. You don't see what led up to it. You don't see the person screaming like a fucking hyena in their face for fucking 30 fucking minutes. And then it's not until like the fifth time he like pushed the cop that he fucking was like, all right, that's it. You're under arrest. And then while he's resisting arrest, they use pain. What do they call it? Where you have to like comply.
In compliance.
Yes.
Pressure
Pain
point.
compliance techniques to get people to do what they want. And they're like, "Ah!" And then that's what they show on TV, dude, because that's exactly what they're doing. It's so disingenuous,
Yep.
but it's
A lot of them
also
are paid to do
effective.
that though.
Yeah. And that's why I love it. I love seeing that.
It's disingenuous, but it's effective to do that. As
It
far
is.
as what the media is doing and what the left is doing right now. And they know what they're doing and they're good at it. And I don't really know how to combat it besides just like call it out again and again. But we live in our own echo chambers, as we've discovered. We live in our own bubbles. And so do they.
Well,
And when we
some
call
of us
things
don't.
out, they don't hear it.
Yeah. I know, like, Honda, me and you have to deal with it every day. So, like, we don't really live in that bubble that we want to live in, really. I would actually love to live in my own fucking bubble, but I'm not. Like, as soon as I go outside, step outside, I got to deal with this bullshit every day.
I would love
Yeah.
to go to a Walmart where I don't have to call an attendant over every 5 seconds to pick the thing out that I need.
Right.
The only thing I can get is sunscreen for some reason.
Yeah, I would love to
Even
live in
my
a high
Walmart
trust
in this-
society like Japan or some shit like that, or what we used to have back in the day. We don't have that no more because of they ass.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel
That's why I
says
don't give a fuck.
the House isn't passing shit right now anyways, which is kind of true. I mean, what's the last bill that they passed? They've all been goddamn executive orders, which executive orders kind of suck because the next executive gets in there and if he disagrees with the orders, he just cancels them or writes new ones. So I'm not even sure what the last act that they passed is, but Daniel also says first act in our country can't be a crime. Deport every last one of them. Even if we win midterms, the presidential election is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, we cannot send the message out to the world that, hey, you can come to America illegally. You can cross the border. You can cheat the system. You can do all these things. As long as you don't commit crimes when you get here, we're going to let it slide, right? Because that totally fucks the entire immigration system, and everyone who's waiting in line patiently and paying the dues and taking the tests and doing the things is just a fucking sucker if that's the case. How many people
Now-
did Biden let into our country?
We don't know the exact number. I bet it's north of 20 million though.
Let us ask Grok. I love asking.
They're going to
Grok.
say probably around 10, but it's at least double that, if not way more.
Now, I would like to say I would hate to see people who did come across illegally and just want to come here and work, and try to raise a family and have a better life. I get that. I hate to see them get deported, but it sucks. But
If they're all here
Yeah.
here illegally, they got to go. I don't give a shit. I don't have no sympathy for any of them.
If anything, I would say those ones are the ones that can go fuck themselves the most because of the fact that they will sit there and take tens of millions of dollars out of our economy every single year and eventually build mansions back in their home countries when they're like 50, 55.
Yep.
And this is exactly why Trump needs to go after Western Union and all these other companies that are taking money out of the American economy and sending it back to other countries.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
we
they
can't go to
just-
Mexico and
stuff.
right.
They're
And
modern
we
day
can't-
You know what?
Yep.
In
So
that same vein,
According to Grok, low end estimate. So I gave it like, hey, give me a low end and a high end. Low end estimate is bullshit. 4.5 million. That is
over
not
4
correct.
years. Okay.
Because it also says under Joe Biden, the Customs and Border Protection recorded approximately 10.3 million total encounters nationwide. Right? And they turned back, what was it? 3.8 million, they say, resulted in immediate removals or expulsions. So if you go by that number, you're still over 4.5 million. So I don't know where they get 4.5 million from. High end is the 10.3 plus another 6.5. So that would be what, 16.8 million?
Yeah, close to.
So between 10 and 15 million, we'll say, people came into the country illegally under Biden. They're saying that roughly 10% of the people show up for their court date, which means 90% of that 15 million people do not show up for their court date. Now, I think that should be grounds for deportation order, right? Like if you come into the country, you claim asylum, right? And then they're like, okay, cool. We've filled out your paperwork. You claimed asylum. You've got a court date in 6 months that you have to show up for, and you got to plead your case in front of a judge. And they're like, okay, cool. You don't show up for that? You don't call the court and say, hey, I couldn't show up because of this. I'll be there in a week or whatever. There should be a immediate order for your deportation. They should go to your last known address or your place of business or whatever it is and look for you specifically and arrest you and no one else. Not, oh, you look Mexican too? Hey, let's see if you have paperwork. None of that shit. It should be specific. Hey, we're going after you and here's why. And then again, I think we should be going after the businesses and everyone else who is enabling people to live and work here.
Definitely.
If you do those two things, it's like problem fucking solved, dude. I don't know. I mean, you do that and you close off the border. You don't need to do everything else. That solves the housing problem. That solves the job market problem. That solves the fucking like food stamp, medical, fucking all that problem. You don't get any of that shit either. Sorry. You didn't pay into the system. You just showed up here. And like, oh, well, your ancestors came here too, Honda, from another country. Your great grandparents came over on boats. They stayed on Ellis Island 3 out of 4. And that's true. They did. But do you know what they didn't get when they got here?
Free handout.
Welfare.
check.
Any kind. Nothing. They had to go build a house with their own hands and work and fucking, slave and toil and basically for nothing. Like my great grandpa, like he died poor as shit and he worked his whole fucking life,
Yep.
That's just the way it was. And my grandpa managed to do pretty well for himself, and my dad did pretty good for himself because of that, and then he fucked everything over, and now we're fucked again. So I don't know what to do there either, but whatever. That's another story. Anyway, so what do you do, guys? Like, what do you think we should do? Am I wrong? Or is Trump right? Is he doing the correct thing here? Do you think they should be going city by city? Do you think that's actually going to solve the crime problem?
Yes.
Like going to Chicago and staying there for 2 weeks and arresting a couple people?
It hasn't.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to
Civil
arrest a couple
cartels.
people. They need to be arresting hundreds of thousands of people in all these cities.
Well, if I was a criminal, right? Like if I was like a drug dealer in Chicago, and I knew that Trump was sending hundreds or thousands or whatever of basically law enforcement to the city to deal with the crime problem. You know what I would do? Take a little break. They can't stay forever. Can they? No, they can't. They don't have the money. We don't have the resources. We don't have the time. They're not going to do that. They're going to stay there for a week or a month or whatever it is. And at the end of that time period, they're gone. And then you just start dealing drugs again. Or you start pimping bitches or whatever the fuck it is that you do, you know?
We've already had gangbangers and cartels try to put hits on ICE agents now. Put bounties on them.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, honestly, we need to do the same thing to these gangbangers and these cartel members. Put literally wanted posters on their asses, where if they're like low level, it's like starts $500 or whatever, and then it goes up to like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 or so. And I guarantee you're gonna have people dropping dimes on them like fucking crazy.
Yeah, but then that turns into everybody just ratting out anybody they can.
Yeah, false reporting just to get money.
That was the same issue in Iraq and Afghanistan. Guys that had disputes with their neighbors would just falsify accusations. So the army would come back.
Let's start arresting all these fucking politicians that are allowing this shit to go down.
Yeah.
Well,
Especially our governor and mayor.
Here's the thing about this. I don't know how. Okay, we have freedom of speech in this country with limitations. What's the limitation? You're not allowed to directly call for violence against an individual or a group. Directly.
Right.
But you can indirectly say things that could be construed as that or something else, and there's no law against that. So how do you enforce that? Because that's what they're doing.
You find something else on them, like they did Trump, or like how they did to like Al Capone. You don't go directly on what they're doing, but you find something else that they're doing. Right. You might not get them on the main thing, but you can get them on something else. That's exactly what they did to Trump.
And in many cases with Democrats, you can get them on voter fraud is what it is. You just have to get the actual voter rolls as
right.
It be.
All these fucking politicians got something on them.
Well, and the thing about that is Trump announced a couple of months ago that arrests will be coming. Just wait. And that you should see a lot of movement around December.
He's been saying that shit for years and it ain't happened yet, so I'm not holding my breath.
No. He's been saying since December for a couple of months.
Oh, since September. Okay, yeah, that part. But I'm saying, you know, like draining the swamp and all that other shit and whatnot.
I mean, I think the first time around, he tried to play ball with people. He tried to, like, use the system as an outsider, and they fucked him over. And he kind of learned how the system works, and he's not trying to play their game anymore. I think now he's out for blood, bro, and I think he gets a free punch for what they did to him. I think that
definitely.
The lawfare that they changed the meaning of laws and basically made it so that the statute of limitations didn't matter anymore in the case and charged him with 30 felonies that were bullshit, that were paper crimes that under any other circumstance would be a misdemeanor, which that would be even arguable, right? But since it was Trump, they straight guilty, convicted. And then like the civil case where they assumed that he raped the person as part of the case and then made him pay money. And then like the media says, well, he's a convicted rapist. Like, no, that's but to explain it, I got to go into so much nuance that you just lose the people in the process. So there's no point in arguing. There's no point in fucking correcting someone's fucking false information about this. That's not your job. You're not. They have to do that for themselves because they're not going to listen to you when you do that for them. You're not going to be the arbiter of information. If they come to you and ask questions genuinely, then yeah, maybe you could inform them. But if they're coming to you as an obstinate opponent about the thing that they're trying to prove over you, and you come to them with facts that happen to be nuanced and fucking, they're never going to listen to you. That's never going to convince a single person in the history of fucking ever. So don't even fucking waste your goddamn effort or time.
Yep. I've already tried that before and it doesn't work.
It doesn't because it's not supposed to because
work.
people have to wake up themselves. You don't. It's like a drug addict, right? You can take a drug addict to counseling. You can give them Narcan. You can put them in a facility with a team of people who are surrounding them at all times. You can pour love and affection and time and effort and everything that you have into them. And the second you leave them alone, if they want to do that drug again, they're going to do it again. It's not until they decide, I am done with this drug and I need to stop. And it's then and only then that they even have a chance. And not even everyone who makes that decision. I mean, sometimes they're just too addicted and then, you have a relapse and that's it. So not even everyone makes it out once they make that decision. But I guarantee you will never make it out until you make that decision. And being woke, being awoken to what's happening and the lies that you've eaten whole fucking completely, you have to be the one that decides like, oh shit, I was wrong. I need to figure this out. And then they'll come to you maybe, or wherever they go, but it's their own journey. It's not your fucking issue. It's not your problem. And I'm sure like me, most of you had that same thing happen to you. Just mine happens to have been around 2001. So it's been a while. When did you guys wake up? How long has it been?
Oh, shoot. I think, man,
Sandy Hook.
1920, really? I think I've always been kind of patriotic, but I didn't really wake up till one time that my father took me to this alderman to hear him speak. This was around the time where Bush was the president. And all I could think was, man, this guy is saying a bunch of bullshit, how we need to get rid of Bush and all of them. But yet, just on the other end of his block is people dealing drugs. It was like, Joe, you can't get the people that's down the street from your office off the block. How you going to get Bush out of office? And that's when I started to like wake up. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, it was, it wasn't what you think it was, right? 2001, you would think it was 9/11. No. Although I had questions about that right away, right? Like when that happened, like right away. But that's because I was already having questions because of Waco. Waco's the thing that woke me up. Not when it happened. Because when it happened and that fucking church burned down with children inside of it and however many people it was burned to death and, there's evidence that some of them were machine gunned from fucking helicopter as they ran out the front door trying to avoid the fire and smoke. And that the children fucking died of chemical inhalation from the gas that they pumped into the auditorium before they even set it on fire. And I believed what the media said. I believed everything that they said because I was like, well, why would the media lie about this story? Like, they're obviously telling us what's going on. I've been watching this story every fucking day. How long was that fucking that holdout? It was a long time. It was weeks and weeks. when that thing fucking finally burned up, I and everyone who was paying attention to it and who believed the media at the time cheered. We cheered to Christian children burning in a church. Just like the kids today cheered when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck. And for some of them, that's going to be their wake-up call. Maybe not now. Maybe in a couple of years, it'll wake them up. But that's what woke me up, was seeing all that and cheering for it, and then looking into the information later and finding out how much I had been lied to about, how much information had been kept from us, how much of the original premise of the situation was a fucking setup in the first place. And we're supposed to be on the sides of the government who were supposedly the good guys? Nah, dog. Nah. And I was going through that revelation, and then 9/11 happened. So...
Fuck you, Daniel. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, the Waco siege was 51 days long.
But again, back to the immigration thing. It's not like I'm like, oh no, don't deport these people. Like, no, you should probably deport as many of them as you can get. But I'm also being realistic in the fact that the optics of this will be used against us, and the midterm elections are coming up. And if we don't win those midterm elections, we're fucked. So, on that premise, I think we need to chill out a little bit right now.
I don't. Sorry, I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm complete opposite.
If we lose the elections over, like I say, if we lose the midterms over this, and we didn't have a red wave over what happened, what's going on with us and Charlie Kirk and everything else, and calling people Nazis and shit. If we lose, then we deserve to lose. We deserve to lose the midterms. If people that fucking stupid that we live with in this country, yes, we deserve to lose it.
Yeah, the Republican Party is where they're at because they're worried about optics every 2 years for elections, not because they do, that causes them to do nothing. Trump shouldn't worry about carrying out his agenda for fear of it stalling him from carrying out his agenda. That's counterintuitive.
I mean, fair enough. They're going to do what they're going to do, and we'll find out. I'm just saying, like, it might be better to go, like, half speed for the next year and then full bore for the next 2 years after that than full bore right now and dead stopped for the next 2 years. Which one do you get more done with? Half speed now, full speed later, or full speed now, no speed later?
Full speed ahead, stay constitutional.
Man, we got to keep our foot on the gas.
Yeah, I would
Period.
say go full gas at this point. Find the best constitutionalist candidates for 2026 and primary a bunch of fucking rhinos out and put good people in there again.
After Charlie Kirk, they lost me. Whatever the Democrats do, I don't care if I agree with it. Damn near, I want to say they've
No
lost me
dual
completely.
citizenship. Yeah.
They
Well, I
lost
think
me
the other thing that
completely.
we need to do for the midterms specifically, clean up the voter rolls. They need to get rid of all of the 150-year-old people who've been voting for the past fucking however many elections after they've been dead. They need to get rid of mail-in voting as much as fucking possible, right? And if they could, I doubt they will do this, but they need to get rid of the voting machines. Like, think about this. What is the point of having voting machines? Can anyone explain to me why we have voting machines?
To cheat. To fucking cheat.
Well, that's the obvious answer, but like, if you're trying to like justify it as if it wasn't for cheating, what are the reasons that we
Supposed to be
have
for
voting machines?
convenience sake.
Right, make it easier.
But it's not easier. You still have to wait in line. And in fact, because it's on a machine, there can only be so many people who vote at the same time. Versus if it was just a piece of paper, you could just set up a fucking million cubbies or something.
Well, all stands for the like the punch hole ballots,
Hanging Chad.
and I think it's way easier than back when we had like those punch holes. Even sometimes I kind of got confused, but I never messed up on one. But those punch hole ballots was a bitch to do.
Well, I mean, maybe they could figure something out besides the punch hole ballot that wouldn't be as much of a pain in the ass. But I mean, like, the excuse that I hear all the time is, oh, well, it's for people who are disabled and they can't come in and do it themselves. They need to have the machine. And it's like, yeah, I've also seen people who are disabled getting help from the fucking poll workers or whatever they're called. And they basically run the machine for them. So what's the fucking difference? You might as well just have them help out and then fill out the ballot and put it in the fucking box or whatever. And then you have a paper fucking ballot in the box.
Yeah, no, they had like that after the punch hole. They had like that draw a line ballot, like over the arrow, shit like that.
I don't get why it's so like complicated. I mean, how many fucking multiple question tests have you taken in your life? A, B, C, or D? And then you fill out the fucking little oval thing with a number 2 pencil. But they got to make it all complicated because it's fucking government and they're the worst retards in the history of retardation. But they do it on purpose. I think it's malevolence. It's not fucking. What's the thing where they're like never attribute to malevolence, which you can attribute to incompetence, I think is what it is. I don't think it's incompetence. I think they're malevolent. I think that a lot of them have been stealing from the American people and from their constituents for years and different various methods of doing so, both legally and illegally. I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi, who has known what trade to make for the past fucking 60 years, you know? And she's just the most obvious example of that. And that's completely legal in our system, which is fucked up. And that needs to change. And that's obvious. It's like left or right, Democrat or Republican. I don't think anyone fucking disagrees that insider trading through Congress is a good thing.
Well, wasn't it illegal at one point until not like in history that they changed it so they can do it and get rich?
I'm not sure about the history of that. I know that at some point they made it so that they can't be charged for that, so that they're not investigated for every little decision that they make, which kind of makes sense. But I think if that's the case, it's like you should just not be allowed to buy and sell stocks while you're in office. You can have stocks, but you can't buy them and sell them while you're in office. So whatever you had when you came into office is what you have. You can keep those, but you can't. I mean, maybe you could sell them, but you can't buy anything. You can't fucking do a bunch of trades.
I'm about to say, you should be able to sell them off, if anything, but not buy any new ones until you get out of office.
Right.
I would honestly go like 3 layers deep on that, because it should not only be the person that is holding office, it should be their immediate family, that individuals, extended families, and et cetera, et cetera. So basically, it would be your husband/wife, any family members of yours, cousins, aunts, uncles, et cetera, and then like direct friends and stuff you could basically have that could do that shit for you.
That would be like hard to enforce, though.
That won't go over.
It would be harder to enforce, but it would also set a precedent, because the problem is when you can have somebody like, let's say, in Illinois, for safety's sake right now, went in there, what was it, 5-6 years ago now, and is now worth like $30 million or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Or how about you can invest, but you can only invest through like a mutual trader, like a mutual fund, you know, where you don't have control over the decisions. It's the fund that does it. And like, they just take your money and do things with it that they were going to do anyway, you know? I don't know, dude. I don't know what the answer is, but shit's certainly fucked now, isn't it?
Yep. Everything is fucked. Everything is fucked. Oh, man. And like I said again, remind you, we only in year one of Trump being president.
I know,
This
it's
is
crazy.
year
It feels
one.
like he's been in office for a really long time, doesn't it?
Yes. Oh man.
So have you guys seen the I forget where it was. There was some fucking judge's house that burnt down. And she just made some decision against Trump or whatever, and everyone's saying like, "Oh, see, the right wing's violent too. They went after a judge." Right? You guys hear about this in the last couple of days?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
here
he's
in
trying to
South
take
Carolina.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard about that. Of course, I've been out of the loop of everything for months now because taking care of my wife. I've been sick recently and dealing with other shit, and I've been gone for a while from everything, which has been nice, but it's also like I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about on a lot of things.
Well, it was Judge Diane Goodstein on Edisto Island here in South Carolina.
Well,
Yeah.
it turns out, according to information that is unconfirmed, that I cannot confirm whether this is true or not yet. Because it's still under investigation and they're not releasing the information. But from what I understand, it was an accident. It was a propane tank that exploded in their house from some sort of thing that happened. There's no sign of arson. There's no arson suspects. And yet, from one side of the internet to the other, the Democrats have been screaming at the top of their lungs that now Republicans are targeting judges.
I mean, they're probably right.
Boom.
No, I think they're probably right. Just like how they was right about Kyle Rittenhouse killing black people. So,
Yeah.
Yep, there's
I
4
kind
black
of believe
folks.
him. Yeah. Yeah, they probably right on this.
Sorry for your
that
loss,
happened.
Leo, to your community.
Yeah. That happened, you know. So,
Which one's the 19th? Is that women's voting?
No,
Yes.
that's no kings, ain't it? Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. My bad.
Yeah, 19th is women's right to vote. 26 is for 18 and over.
You know, there's the congressional maps of no women voted. The entire country's red.
Yep.
Funny how that works. You're like, oh, well, women got the right to vote. Blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of men didn't have the right to vote for a long time either. You know what you had to have to vote in this country to start off with?
Land.
Exactly. You had to be a landowner and not just like, oh, I own like a little, you know, like you had to own fucking land. Like I own this plantation. Therefore, my vote counts.
It needs to go back to that.
I don't know about that, but certainly,
Especially not now that Bill Gates.
Once you have a kid,
You make a good point there.
if you have a child in this country, then you should get to vote. I think. Because if you
A
don't have
lot
any,
of stupid
you don't have any
people
stake
with
in the
kids.
future of the country. If you have no kid,
Exactly.
you don't have any stake in the future of this country besides what's good for you and right now. You know.
well, we should be at least allowed to vote in local elections. Just give us the local elections then.
I'm a landowner and a business owner. I think I've got a little right to vote.
Right. So am I. Maybe not a business owner, but I am a landowner.
What if I own people? Can I vote?
It's technically property, I guess.
As long as you pay taxes on them, Leo.
Right? That took a dark turn.
That's technically what you do to kids, right? You own them.
As Daniel just says,
Well,
are you
they're
suggesting we need to own slaves to vote? No.
No.
Kind of, I guess.
It'd be indentured servants.
Up, I just brought it up, and Daniel said it. Okay.
Right.
Well, again,
What
dude,
if
if
I
you don't
own
have any
dogs?
kids, then what do you care what happens in 50 years? You know, you're going to be dead anyway. But if you have kids, you're like, oh man, we're selling the future down the road so that I can be more comfortable now. I'm not cool with that. my grandkids are going to starve. My kids are going to suffer. So no. Versus the person who's a nihilist who doesn't have any kids would be like, yeah, give me. Now. Mine. More.
The
Which
only
is
problem
what
with,
the left does.
I'll say the only problem with that, there's also parents who wants to cut their children's penises off, so they're also allowed to vote.
Yeah,
And
but I
plus-
think in that case we'd outnumber them like so significantly that
Plus, some of us don't have kids. We have nieces and nephews that we want to see
Exactly.
prosper.
fair enough, and that's a good argument too. I don't know what the fucking deal would be, but it needs to be something different than it is. I think we just make it harder to vote. We just make it so like, okay, to vote you have to climb to the top of this hill where the fucking poll is. And
Or
then
pass a basic civics test.
and everything needs to be in English. There shouldn't be like a Spanish version or whatever. Like maybe Braille or something, but that's it.
Along with that test you just said, let them still do a fucking not only an IQ test, but also to see your knowledge. Like if you were coming into the country as a legal immigrant, you need to take a fucking test to show that you know shit about what you're supposed to know about your own country.
Constitutional based test.
They
An
do though.
IQ test. I definitely won't be able to vote then, even if I have children. So, Jesus, fuck me, huh? Okay. 2 + 2 and 2 × 2 kept me up at night. Not too long ago.
Like, is it the same answer?
Yes. That kept me up last week. I was lying in bed thinking about it. Like, how the fuck does that happen? Like,
Well, both of them are 2 times,
yeah.
right? 2 times 2 is 2 plus 2. It's
Right.
the same thing.
And it's fucking weird for some reason.
But
Right, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Not equal the same thing as 4 plus 4, because that would be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4.
Yeah. For some reason, I just don't like it. I don't know why. It kept me up for some reason. I actually woke up like, what the fuck? And why did I think about that in the first place? I don't know.
And 4 times 2 is the same thing as 4 plus 4. Because there's only 2.
There's 2 4s. Yeah. Fucking,
I don't know how that doesn't make sense. It makes sense to me.
I don't know.
Like 1 times 1, that's the one that kind of got me for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, how can 1 times 1 be 1? Or anything times 0 is 0.
0, yeah.
10 trillion times 0 equals 0. Like, what?
Like, wouldn't it just be 10 trillion then? If it's a 0, fucking, I don't know. It's crazy.
But then you think about it. If you have 0 $10 trillion bills, how much money do you have?
Yeah, then it'd be 0.
Goddamn.
I guess, yeah. And if it's 0 times 0, then it's double. Then it's double the zeros down there. Huh?
Blank ballots you have to fill out with no notes and no phones, says Daniel. What if it was just like, here's the names of the people, but we don't tell you if they're Republican or Democrat? We don't tell you any, like if you, oh man, how about this? If you want to vote on this issue, answer these 3 questions. And then you have to answer 3 questions that show that you know enough about the subject that you're voting on to vote on that subject. So if you pass that section's 3 questions, then you get to answer, right? And you get to like pick whoever it is that you wanted to vote for. But if you fail, right, you answer the 3 questions wrong, then you don't get to vote. Or maybe it's like weighted, like you answered 1 question correctly, therefore your vote counts as 1/3 of a vote. Or you answered all 3 questions correctly, so your vote counts as a full vote.
I think that would get way too complicated way too quickly.
Yeah, and there would just be more room for cheating, and
Yeah, it would
you
just
know
be
how that goes.
convoluted at that point.
You know how that goes.
I would
That's
say
why the
honestly,
rank order voting fucking. That's always like, oh well, my first choice is Trump, but then my second choice is, and then you just know they're going to use that to fucking put in whoever they want. You know?
I mean rank choice.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Maybe
keep
y'all
trying
right.
next
Maybe
to do in
y'all.
Ohio too.
I don't know. Maybe y'all right. Maybe I don't need to vote. I don't know. So that's what I'm thinking. Right?
I would
You
say
probably convinced me.
honestly, to run for office, you should definitely have to pass like several tests to even be in the running. Because there are a lot of dumb motherfuckers at state levels and especially at federal levels that are in power right now that shouldn't be.
What is this? Sun Helists E plus D20 O2 D2 plasma drill cycles HTSE. That's a fucking name, dude. Says,
Good Lord.
are you invalid cookie? Yes, I am invalid cookie. It's nice to meet you.
So like Hunan Mohammed 1847.
Answer, what is a woman to vote? Well, I mean, if they had to answer that and they had to answer it correctly, then it would just be a landslide, wouldn't it?
This is true.
Well, we got more stuff going on in the south end of Chicago. That was by you, right, Leo? Here, let me screen share this.
I'm gonna say no for reasons. I'm actually on the west side. South end is.
Does this count as left-wing violence?
It should.
They're literally burning a cop car down. If this was right-wing people burning police cars down, what do you think fucking the Democrats on the left would be saying about it?
The right wing burns cars too, just like the left. They're psycho. We must vote them out of office.
I mean, they wouldn't even mention the left. They'd just be like, these violent MAGA extremists are out burning police cars and insurrectioning against our government, and they need to be stopped and put into prison. I mean, how many people were fucking silenced under Biden? How many people were politically prosecuted under Biden? And you didn't hear shit from the Democrats about it. You didn't hear a word from them about Steve Bannon or Steve Scalise or Roger Stone or Alex Jones or I mean, I could go on and on. There's a whole list of people, bro.
That's
all
in
got.
Boston.
They didn't just get like silenced. They didn't just get their YouTube channel pulled. They got put into prison and or sued. How much did Alex Jones get sued for? It was like $1.2 trillion, like the GDP of France or something. It was ridiculous amount of money just to put him out of business, just because they don't like what he has to say, just because he said something that was inappropriate about something that he wasn't 100% informed about, and then later redacted it. They didn't even let him have a defense. The judge literally said in that case,
You do
It's
know
like
your
a Kardashian
DMs are
trial.
open.
you are guilty. We just need to have this trial to see how much money you have to pay, basically.
How do you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
I said, you do know that your DMs are open.
Oh. Oh. What'd you see? Oh. Nothing big.
Yes.
One from you.
Yeah.
That's funny. Man arrested for attempted murder in Indiana has nearly 100 prior arrests.
Whack them.
And I know people like that. Who just have this long rap sheet. I know a lot of people like that.
Is it a bunch of petty crimes that became a bunch of felony drug crimes?
Half and half. Yeah, mostly drugs. Then there's some gun charges in between and shit like that. Couple
I
of
haven't walked
burglaries
in
here and
100
there.
front doors.
So he's got 99 arrests with charges including trespass, drug crimes, theft, battery, bodily injury, and now attempted murder.
Whack 'em.
I just don't. Okay, like I almost went to jail for something stupid for like a month, you know, and I had like no prior arrests, and it wasn't anything violent, and you know, just the fucking like. Thank God I can talk my way out of trouble in front of a judge, because I don't know, man. And yet people just get arrested 99 times, and you're just allowed to walk free like nothing happened. I'm sure he's been to jail. I'm sure he's probably been to prison.
What's like the people that have like 20, 30, 40 DUIs on their fucking records, and they're still fucking running scot-free.
No, I say after 5 convictions, you are a burden to society, and you need to be locked up for it. Fucking half your life, shit.
Oh, here's my list. Gregory Craig, Donald Trump, Michael Avenatti, Rudy Giuliani, Andrew McCabe, Mark Meadows, Jeffrey Clark, John Eastman, Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, Kenneth Cheesebro, I don't know who that is, the January 6th defendants, Tina Peters, Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, Ken Paxton, Alex Jones, Elon Musk, Henry Cooler, Michael Cohen, Roger Stone. And there's more than that. And those are just people who were lawfared. Didn't even really commit a crime, most of them. As far as I understand, none of them actually committed the crime that they were fucking charged with. Not a peep from the Democrats. Happy about it. January 6th defendants didn't get fucking a fair shaken trial, didn't get actual legal defense like they should have, got bulldozed by the courts, got convicted of things with extra charges on them because it was Washington, D.C., and it was political. Some of them died in prison. Some of them lost everything that they had and committed suicide before they even made it to court. Democrats? Crickets. If not gleefully happy about the ones that committed suicide or the guy who died of bed bug bites waiting for his fucking court date. It was during COVID. So if you were a January 6th defendant and you wanted to talk to your lawyer, they would have your lawyer come into the prison and talk to you on the phone through the glass, right? And then when you were done talking to your lawyer, they would put you in solitary confinement for the next 30 days as a COVID precaution, even though you were on the other side of a glass wall from the person that you were talking to who could have supposedly given you COVID, and you talked on a phone, right? But they're protecting everyone for... No, that wasn't protecting people from COVID. That was punishing January 6th defendants for trying to seek legal advice. That was showing them, sure, you have the right to talk to your lawyer, but every time you do, you better prepare to spend the next 30 days in a dark, solitary hole by yourself, where you're let out, I think it's like 15 minutes a day or something. Like, how is that not torture? How are the guards at these prisons not being brought up on charges?
Excellent question.
Because there have been abuses that have been reported by the January 6th defendants.
Horrible abuses.
And yet, you know, again, because it's against people who are ideologically against the narrative that the Democrats love. I mean, we're Nazis, right? Oh, it's just Nazis getting tortured in prison. We're totally cool with that. I hope they get more of it. And again, I don't really blame people for that. It's like me cheering for the fucking the Waco kids getting burned up. Was it because I was a bad person? No. It was because I was tricked. I was fooled. I was hypnotized. I believed the narrative that they told me. And I went to the natural conclusion of what they were telling me. And then a couple years later, when I looked into it more deeply, I was ashamed of myself. I still kind of am. And a lot of these people, I feel like not everyone, but some of them are going to be ashamed of themselves in the future at some point. Or maybe not. I don't know. Dude, every fucking goddamn post from the left is like, oh, here, let's see what fucking Jason, he's one of the worst. He's my local guy. Republicans kicked millions off their health care. Rural hospitals are closing. Now they're letting your insurance premiums skyrocket. Costs are going up for everyone. The Republicans don't seem to care. We're the only ones who care about it. And if you care, if you right?
Any of these healthcare systems, almost every healthcare
Talks like such a fucking faggot, dude.
Wasn't he also the one that tried to make the Highlands Ranch shooting into a gun control debate? And the kids told him to fuck off.
He's the one who was laying on top of Nancy Pelosi while January 6th happened, protecting her from the noise, I guess. I don't know.
So he's a brave guy. Okay.
Yeah, he was the ex. I don't know if he was like a Army Ranger or something like that.
Yeah, he's some kind of military dude.
Yeah, but he's like, man, if you like, he's one of those guys who went to like military, like officer school or whatever, graduated West Point or whatever it was, and was like automatically like, oh, I'm in charge of men, I guess. Oh, I guess we're going this way, guys. Oh, I am a Marine like you, or whatever, you know?
He was
Let me
just
lead
trying
from
to
the back.
Nancy Pelosi. That's all it was. He wanted to get in her pants and have the clothes that he could get.
Yeah, he's trying to cup
True.
feel.
Oh man, Dolly Parton's having health issues.
Yeah.
I mean, she is like, what, like 90 something now?
Is she? No.
I think she's pretty close, yeah. At least high 80s anyway.
And he's had so many fucking pit jobs too.
No, but at least her surgeons did her right. She doesn't look like a fucking alien like the rest of those.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's because she went from the neck down, not the face up.
You can see there's a couple of you can see there's still some work to the face.
Yeah, like a little nip and tuck here and there, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like a whole bunch of like Botox injections every day. That was what it is.
Yeah, but at least they still made it look like
Ohio sat there and say that he wanted to go down on Nancy, so that threw me off for a second.
Wait, what? What happened?
I never said no such thing. What are you even talking about over there, man?
Releasing so many people. You know why the Biden administration released millions of people in the United States? No one ever talks about it. I'll talk about it. Why did they release people into the interior of the United States and put them, rather than put them into an ice bed? Why not put them in an empty ice bed at $127 a night rather than in a hotel room at $500 a night?
I agree with this guy's message. I hate how he talks. Like, you speak English like you got kicked in the head by a fucking donkey when you were a teenager.
It didn't because when you put them in ice detention bed, they get a hearing in 35 days. Court records show 9 out of 10 people claim asylum, get order removal, they're gone. But if you release them and put them in a hotel room at $500 a night, their hearings could be 5, 7, 9 years if you pull out all appeals. And what are they hoping for then? That another Democrat administration is in power. They can award an amnesty to millions. This is about selling this country off for future political power. That's what it was. The law clearly says if you arrive at our border without proper documentation, you shall be detained. Not maybe, not think about it, shall. And that's what President Trump's doing. Catch and release is over. That's what the law says, and that's what we've done.
See, I agree with what he said. It's just hard to hear him. Okay.
It sounds like he had a lisp as a kid. And he never really got over it.
All right, let's listen to Alex Jones now.
In the last 24 hours, a video went super viral. Reportedly, a Palantir ad advertising what the company's going to do with the social credit score. The big question was, is this a real Palantir ad? Well, we found out. But first, here's a content creator on TikTok who believed it was real and gave his take on it.
There is this new Palantir commercial ad that just came out that you guys need to check out. You guys do remember who Palantir is, right? The new data integration company that's helping the Department of Defense, the IRS, the DOD, DOGE, and all these, and ICE, the people's handling immigration. But check this thing out, y'all. This is crazy.
Good morning, citizens. Your overnight account balances have been updated. Time to start a productive day. Final notice, your account balance is below 500. You need 50 credits by the end of the day to avoid automatic eviction. If you have missed work due to illness, you must provide a doctor's note to reclaim your credits.
Any extra credits? Please.
Tensions are high today, with more people planning to join the Citizens Against Digital Control protest. Remember, the government knows who you are at all times. Resisting is not worth the consequences. All of their newest social credit systems are designed to keep you and your families safe and efficient.
Authorities seized a record balance of an individual's credits, citing excessive hoarding.
Traffic violation detected. 7 miles per hour over the limit. 75 credits have been automatically deducted.
You have to be fucking kidding me.
Yep, you got the flu. Your blood work shows a significant iron deficiency. I recommend incorporating more red meat into your diet.
Dr. Jones, your taxes were not filed and have been automatically deducted with late fees. Your medical license has been revoked.
Oh, hell nah, I filed an extension.
Purchase denied. Monthly red meat allowance exceeded. Try mealworms instead.
Eat the bugs.
They do look kind of delicious.
Surprised they weren't still moving.
Can you guys please let me through?
Attention. Unauthorized political gathering detected. Participants' access to financial services has been suspended. Due to the speeding infraction, your car will be immobilized for 3 days.
Fuck you! Take your surveillance policies and rot in hell!
You've earned 50 bonus credits for reporting your neighbor's hateful misconduct. This content exceeds your current social credit tier. May we suggest citizen responsibility? Sarah, open the door. You have been identified by the authorities. Don't resist. Don't resist. Don't resist.
Now, of course, it's come out that this was a fake Palantir ad. But I'm not the guardian of Palantir. I'm not.
Do you think that's the future that we're headed for? We're far off?
I think it's more of a Judge Dredd feature where we're going to have a judge, jury, executioner all in one person.
I mean, it's sure coming to Europe pretty soon.
That
and I'll say, watch Europe.
I mean, the social credit score things hit China. The social credit score thing, I mean, that's where they invented the whole thing, right? And they're using it to tightly control their society quite successfully. And the leaders of the rest of the world are looking at what China has done and said, wow, that's amazing. I wish that our slaves would be as good of slaves as the Chinese slaves are. They don't even talk back.
That's why I say watch Europe, because they'll be the first coming out of the West with that.
Yeah, it used to be about 3 to 5 years ahead of us, and now it's more like 1 to 3.
Do you know that there was a third attempted murder or assassination of Trump?
I've heard something about that.
It was back.
I
in
think
October
that
of
we
last
talk about it.
year. There was some
Yeah,
guy
I
in
think we talked about
Sacramento who showed up to a Trump event with a fucking. He had a shotgun, a handgun, and some explosives in his car, and they detained him on his way in, and then arrested him and charged him with basically having a legal weapon because they couldn't get him on attempted assassination because he hadn't got that far yet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But they're counting that as a thwarted attempt as well, I believe. Man, Portland's nuts. Look at Portland. There's a frog. Look, why is there?
Well, you saw the video where they shot the pepper spray into the frog's tailpipe.
Yeah,
right?
air hole. Yeah.
Yep.
As it turned out, the guy that was in the frog suit is actually a convicted Antifa terrorist who is out on parole for some reason.
So he can be a provocateur.
And that's why he got the tailpipe treatment.
Here's what Adam Schiff has to say. He wants to dictate what the press can say, what a university can teach you, whom a company can employ, and whom the law shall apply. He who wants all this is not a president, but strives to be a dictator, and all who succumb are not citizens, but subjects. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Like, dude, could you be more hyperbolic? Could you be more over the top? Could you use more inflammatory language at a time when, like, people on the right are literally being targeted with bullets for murder? And you, a leader of our country on the left, uses that kind of language, which is legal, but god damn it, dude, you should fucking be held accountable.
And nothing about Biden trying to shut down free speech in YouTube.
You may
Yeah.
also remember
Yeah.
about a year to 14 months ago, there's a bunch of Democrats on the House floor that were openly admitting to a shadow government they were creating. And one of them was Schiff.
Thoughts on the Candace Charlie receipts? I think Candace is full of fucking shit. I think that she is so fucking off of the wall, crazy, over the top. Some of the things that she has said about Charlie Kirk are provably wrong. To anybody who was on the inside about what was going on with Charlie Kirk, have publicly come out and said, yes, Candace is a fucking lying fucking piece of shit. So, I don't know, man. What do you guys think?
What was she saying before y'all get started? What was she saying? I hadn't heard anything.
Not even sure. A bunch of Jew stuff. She's like, the Jews. It was the Jews. The Jews did this and the Jews did that, and everything was because of the Jews. And here's what Candace Owens said. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick.
I thought her and Charlie were good friends.
Here's what Candace Owens said.
Jew. I did watch something today where they were saying that the whole Charlie Kirk assassination was staged because nobody around him that was trying to save his life had blood on him.
Yeah, that was very weird to me too.
Yeah. But I was gonna say what Daniel just said in the chat. Yeah. Turning Point USA did come out and admit that her receipts she had are real, but that's all I know so far.
I would say, honestly, if they wanted to do away with any speculation on Charlie's death or anything else for that matter, just release the camera footage from the camera that was sitting right behind him.
Right.
Show what was going on there with all those guys on their knees and stuff trying to supposedly save him.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that the bodyguards were doing anything other than trying to save him?
Well, it was. If you look at that video, it's very questionable that something's going on because no one has blood on them. They're down on their knees. They stand up. There's no blood on their pants. If someone got hit in the artery, the carotid artery, like they said he did, there would be blood fucking everywhere. And I know this because I used to be an EMT. And anyone out there that knows anything about anything knows that blood's gonna fucking be everywhere. Now that I don't know if that video was doctored any. I haven't seen like the fresh, unedited version that was, from day one. But it is questionable for sure.
Okay, well, here's the thing though. We saw multiple videos from multiple different angles of him getting shot in the neck and spraying blood everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it, all that too, and I'm just reporting what I've heard. I'm not saying I believe it or not.
No, I mean I asked what you guys believe.
But I mean, I don't know at this point because I saw that video, and it does start raising questions. But I don't know. Seeing it when we first saw it happen live, that shit was fucking gnarly, and it was going everywhere. And I know they said in that video that it was probably like a squid packs or something. I don't know how you get squid packs to fucking do that unless you like run a little tiny hose up his fucking shirt and around his neck and, blend it in with paint or makeup or something. I just don't know, but it does still raise an eyebrow. Well, could it have been?
To me, all of these conspiracies are tantamount to the Trump assassination conspiracies where they were like, oh, the assassin who shot at Trump and hit him in the ear was working with Trump, and he shot him in the ear, and there was a blood packet or something, and there wasn't actually a thing, and then they murked him, and so that he couldn't talk about his role in the plan, and that Trump did all of that so that he could have that photo op with his hand in the air before the election, because he needed to get elected, so they needed to stage all of this, and that's what went down. There's people who believe that, by the way.
Yeah.
There's people that believe that someone took a shot at President Trump's head from 100 yards plus away, and that Trump knew about it, knew it was going to happen, and was part of that plan. It sounds about as likely as the Charlie Kirk. I don't like, what is even the fucking like they didn't have blood on their pants, so what? He's still alive?
So basically, the running theory would be it has to do with a possible trap door underneath the stage. And
okay, so we're back to the trap door.
Shoving him down the thing.
That's about as retarded to me as like Forrest Gump fucking running backwards through a field of fucking corn, bro.
Well, this is what I'm saying, though. All they have to do is release that footage of the video that was recording behind him, and it would disprove all of that. But the fact they didn't do that, like, leads more credence to something going on there. I'm not saying that
they don't have to release anything to disprove that. There wasn't a trap door.
But see, my thing is that video. The only video I saw was up close, and you can see him bending down, picking stuff up, handing stuff off. Who's to say that wasn't later on after Charlie was taken away and they were cleaning up or something, or picking up shit off the ground that fell and broke or whatever? I never saw that was Charlie on the ground, because it was like a very short video and there was no really fucking no information other than what you saw. There's no back story on it. Like, this happened immediately after he got shot, or was this hours later and they're cleaning up? I don't know.
The one video I will say is kind of sketchy, though, is from the rooftop, because you can tell there's like a clear edit to where the guy is walking with nothing in his hand, and all of a sudden he's got the gun in his hand.
Look, if you want to say like his security team fucked up royally, they should have been looking out into the crowd. They should have been checking silhouettes of rooftops, especially from 150 yards in. And they didn't. Because they didn't, they missed an obvious attack and let the person that they were supposed to be protecting die.
One thing I have always found really odd, not the two guys that were quote unquote doing hand signals, but there was a guy that was next to them, an older guy that was standing there with his arms crossed with his right hand up underneath his left elbow, a little too far for my opinion, But then the shot goes off, and he immediately shoves something in his pocket and turns around and walks off. And it could have been an up close shot like that from like a pin gun or zip gun or whatever they're fucking called. Because the way Charlie went towards his left side, that made more sense to me than shooting off a fucking roof, 100 or so yards away.
Dude, I've watched the video multiple times and I will not watch it again.
No, I won't watch
Everything
it
that
again.
I've
was
seen from that
fucking
video
horrible.
shows me exactly what would happen if you got shot in the neck with a 30-06 that then hit your spine, deflected, and shot all throughout your body, which is what happened. There were pieces that came out of his shirt. There were pieces that came out of his back. There were pieces that came out of his neck. And there were pieces that end up lodged in his shoulder.
Yeah.
He dropped right away. A shit ton of blood came out of him.
Yeah, that was nuts.
You can't fucking fake that shit unless you have CGI. Like, you could do it if you were like, I don't know, if there wasn't a crowd in front of him. But the fact that there was a crowd in front of him disproves that. There's nothing here. Maybe there's a conspiracy where someone in his group or whatever knew something ahead of time. I don't know. Maybe there's that. I'm not sure. Was it Israel? Okay, let's think about this. We'll do a little thought experiment about Israel using its powers of assassination and mind control or whatever you want to fucking call it to kill Charlie Kirk. For what reason? For what reason? What did Charlie Kirk ever say that was anti-Israel?
Nothing, but at the end they were saying that he started rethinking his stance on Israel and that stuff, and then he died.
Right.
That's all I've heard about that.
So publicly, he's never said anything bad about Israel. Privately, he started having second thoughts about Israel because of Gaza or whatever. So therefore, according to what they think, according to the conspiracy, that, oh no, Israel got a hold of the information that Charlie Kirk has publicly been for them this whole time, but now he's not. So let's risk international incidents and war and everything else to go after a political opponent in another country for a cost-benefit analysis that does not make sense. Because if they take him out, what do they get? Oh, they shut up Charlie Kirk, who was maybe against them a little bit. If they get caught taking him out, what do they get? They lose their most important ally in the goddamn fucking world.
Yep.
At what fucking point does that make sense to do that? Cost-benefit analysis. Just think about it logically. And the answer is it fucking doesn't. There is no universe. There is no scenario. There is no way in the fucking world that Israel used their Mossad agents to assassinate Charlie Kirk because of what he thought or what they thought he was about to come out and say.
Yeah, I've never really put any stock into that stupid shit there.
But people do. And they're out there making videos about, oh, look, there was a trap door. Oh, there's no blood on his pants. It's all bullshit, dude.
Well, we'll never know the 100% truth of anything that has to deal with the government or stuff like that. We'll never know.
Nothing to do with the government.
I'm just saying, in general, stuff like that, we'll never know the whole truth on anything because they're not going to tell it for one reason or another.
Well, the shooter's still alive. There's still court dates to come. There's still evidence being gathered. There's the court case itself is, as far as I understand, going to be public and televised and there for everyone to see.
Really?
Yes, really.
Didn't know that. Like I said, I've been in the loop on everything, so you're giving me new information I don't know.
So when this trial happens, I think most questions will probably be answered. If it was a federal trial in a federal court where they don't have cameras and they do everything behind closed doors and behind the veil of secrecy with only certain reporters who are allowed in, who are only allowed to say certain things, otherwise they're not allowed in the next one, then I might agree with you. We'll never know. This is an open court in Utah. The fucking judge seems legit. I think we're going to get some fucking answers. I think
hope so.
Everything that's pertinent about this person. I think that there's going to be co-conspirators, but I don't think that they're going to be in Charlie Kirk's team, and I don't think that they're going to be from Israel. I think that they're going to be a fucking bunch of faggot-ass fucking trannies from the fucking internet on their goddamn Discord server who did a bunch of fucking faggot shit, and they're going to go to fucking jail and get ass pounded for the next fucking 50 fucking years, and I'm okay with that.
Always them fucking faggots.
Yeah.
Fucking homos. Homoerotica.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. It's
no, I know. I'm just trying to make like
trannies who were like, "Oh, the government's trying to murder my people," because they've drank the Kool-Aid so fucking hard that they cut their own dick off.
Yep.
Right? And once you've gone down the rabbit hole so far, you cut your own dick off. I guess shooting at the fucking president or at Charlie Kirk or whoever else isn't that far off. You believe everything that they've told you to the point where you literally dismanned yourself. And
I have a question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. If you want to go ahead, I'll wait.
No, good. You're good.
With the whole Charlie Kirk thing, the shooter. I know there was a theory coming out that it was the same guy that was on his, show weeks prior with a bullhorn being a complete douchebag and interrupting and over his own bullhorn.
No, it wasn't.
I know they were trying to say it was him. Did they ever say whether it was the same guy? Because
No.
I've been gone.
That was just an internet thing. That was never official or anything like that. It was not him.
Okay, I didn't think so because when I saw the picture and I remember seeing that video, I didn't think it was, but I was legitimately curious because I hadn't heard nothing.
Yeah, I mean, but going back to Israel, like Guy that comment says, Israel has way bigger fish to fry than TPUSA. They've got way bigger things on their plate as far as international manipulation and like PR type shit than Charlie Kirk. And you would have to show me some pretty outrageously direct evidence. And these days, it's like, bro, even if you showed me videos of stuff or whatever, I don't believe it anymore.
Tell me receipts.
Because AI is a thing, and you just can't believe your eyes anymore, bro. You can't, unless you see it with your own eyes, or it happened live. That's the other one. If something happens live, I think you can believe it. But that's about it, dude. Everything else is fake, or at least potentially.
Yep. And AI's gotten so fucking advanced, man. It's insane. It's gotten advanced so quick, in my opinion. I don't know. It's a sad situation no matter what, because someone lost their life unnecessarily just because he hurt feelings and spoke the truth. And they couldn't handle it.
Well, the problem with the whole Israel thing is that there are enough people who are mentally ill in this country, and this is just throwing gasoline on a fucking tire fire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only a matter of time till the next violent left-wing extremist transvestite furry faggot picks up a rifle or a handgun or a shotgun or a bomb or a truck or a knife or a whatever, picks someone that they feel is a threat to them existentially and does things, takes actions. It's only a matter of time. Whether it's an ICE agent or a political pundit or a member of Congress or a Tim Pool or a whoever, like a media person of the world. I don't know who it's going to be next. But I fucking guarantee you it's going to be somebody, and I fucking guarantee you it's going to be soon.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I want to go back full circle, because it was a couple days after Charlie's assassination. You had Jasmine Crockett on, I think it was Tiffany Cross's show on MSNBC, and it was Cross, the host, who was saying about Democrats needing to pick up weapons, and you have Crockett literally nodding along the entire time.
I mean, they just had the tranny who tried to kill Kavanaugh just had his trial. I almost respected him enough to call him her, but no. He had his trial and was found guilty or whatever of attempted murder of a Supreme Court justice, and it got basically zero press.
I did not hear about that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically no one.
Same here.
Certainly no one on the left. There was no CNN article, no ABC News fucking story. Nothing. I mean, there's probably some Fox News stories about it or whatever, but I didn't see anything from the left about that.
No, but they sure are going hot and heavy, whining and boohooing and crying of the injustice that Jimmy Kimmel's receiving, but not the Kavanaugh, attempted murder being sentenced. Yeah, that's so fucking just.
But the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing is funny because he got canceled basically because he had low ratings and they were using what he said about Charlie Kirk as an excuse.
Yeah.
Everyone on the left was so outraged. The ABC News station got shot up and they reinstated him. Right? Yeah. For the first show especially, but tapering off since then, he got a pretty big boost. Everyone wanted to hear what he had to say once he got back on the air after being canceled. Since then, hold on. Since then, his viewership has dropped off a cliff. People on the left don't care. People on the right now really don't fucking care.
Good.
And so he went from like 4 million views a show to like 2 million views when he got canceled, back up to about 4 million for that one show that he did after getting canceled. And now he's down to about 1 million views per show.
That's awesome. I love it.
So he's just losing and losing and losing. And it's only a matter of time till they cancel him again.
Good.
And this time it will be for purely financial reasons. They can't make up another excuse. They're just going to have to can him. And it will be funny when they do, because it'll be like, well, we tried to do this a couple months ago.
Exactly, yeah. Did you hear what Jane Fonda had to say about that?
No.
It's fucking despicable. She was basically calling for violence.
Well, she did the same thing like 2 weeks before the Nashville school shooting. She called for a direct attack on Christians.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's right then and there is when the View should have been canceled for good, because none of those fucking hosts called her ass out on that shit. They let her espouse that crap, and they basically doubled down for her.
I will say this. If the Jews killed Charlie Kirk, that would make him more like Jesus than ever. See what I did there?
I see what you did.
All right, boys. Well, on that note, we've been going an hour and 40 minutes almost now, which is a little bit long for the Gay Frog chat, but we missed our chat on Sunday because I didn't feel very good, so I slept instead of chatting. But that's the end. This is the show. I do appreciate everyone for being here.
Penis.
Deuces, y'all. Sean up, and Fridge Trooper to Shabanaba to Pressure Batcath Care. Prick to the troops. 2 words, made in America. And we'll see y'all next time. Oh, wait.
Deuces.
Before we go, real quick. The video that I posted the other day, you guys watched that of me crashing the KLR?
Yes.
Sure did.
So there's a YouTube channel called Moto Stars that all they do is take clips from people on motorcycles doing things. And they contacted me and asked me if they could use my clip, and I told them that they could. So
nice.
Go check out the next Moto Stars video. Should have at least part of it featuring my video.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, but anyway, laters, y'all.
Later.